in growing a site, that's for sure, and de-risking it. And so I wanted to ask you about that. Like, what are some of the top things that you've done with your blogs that have netted the biggest returns, do you feel? Is it still the 80-20 of content and links, or are there some other intricate things that you've done?
I mean, again, I like to simplify it. It really is just content and links. You could have I've seen really rinky dink looking blogs with great backlink profiles that are just crushing it.
Yeah.
You could have the greatest paint job in the world and like great, like I was saying earlier, great graphic design, great widgets and like all of the frills and stuff, but have a shitty backlink profile and make no money, So like,
Yeah.
I think having that backlink profile is like key. And in terms of like things that I've done to help facilitate that, it really does come down to having good content, but then promoting it, right? Like I'm not like, there's some people on your net that be like, yeah, just create great content. People will find it, link to it. I am not in that camp. I mean, maybe yes, like you'll get some links that way, but you will not build like $1 million property that way. I am very much in the camp of build assets. Like, an example from one of my old pest control sites was I basically was covering a pest control product called Diatomaceous Earth. You probably never heard of it. It's totally fine. But in the health supplement space, this product was like blowing up, super popular. But it was actually crap, for the purpose that people were touting it for. And it was really very much an echo chamber thing. Like everybody was saying it was great. And then like I took this very edgy approach. It was like, it's actually trash. Here's why, like all the backing, the research. And then I promoted that and I got dozens of very high quality niche links from sites that don't give out links very often, right? Because they saw this piece of content, it was actually valuable, had real value. And it was helping their readers. So they linked to it. And then you build sort of a playbook around that. You're like, okay, what else can we talk about that is maybe something nobody's talking about, right? And then that's basically your digital PR strategy. But doing something like that, doing what I just described is like what most people don't want to do because it requires time and energy. But that's how you build sites that most people can't build,
Yeah, that's right. Most people want the lifestyle. They want to buy their way into the lifestyle, buy a site, and then just pay for content and pay for links. And you just don't get that level of growth without the input in making it quality content, quality links. Yeah. So I guess we should talk about that. Are you big on a lot of content, or are you big on just enough content but make it awesome and keep updating it? And then we'll move to links after that, chat about links after that. But yeah, big one.
I'm definitely, it depends. I think that I would say like I'm 60% quantity, 40% quality. Like you do need content. Like you can build like a site that is like 50 blog posts or whatever, 50 pieces of content. And like it can do,
just keep it exceptional content, update it every year, make it out of this world good. Yeah,
exactly. You can do that, especially if like the backlink profile is there to support it. I think that once you've established trust with Google, like, hey, your site is legitimate, like it's a niche, it's got authority in a given niche, pest control, whatever, jewelry, doesn't matter. You can publish 50, 100. Like once you have a system with a decent writer, they understand your system, they have an outline, they have outlines, they have whatever they need to like produce, have them sort of keep busy and then like take, I don't know, 5-10% of your revenues to reinvest in the business, you will get that back, right? If you're saying, hey, like 50 pieces of amazing content and then just refresh it every year, I would say you're probably leaving money on the table, honestly.
Yeah, because there's going to be more to cover on the niche, right?
Right, exactly.
60% quantity, 40% quality. So say somebody's bought a site and they've got maybe, 100 pieces of content on it. For them to get exceptional results, how regularly should they be posting quality content? And we're talking like, listen, guys, when you're listening to this podcast, we're talking about like content that reads well, it's written well, and it's got different formats of content, not just text. It's got image, video, and all those sorts of things. How many of those should they be putting out per month, per year to get exceptional results, do you believe?
I would say, again, it depends on the niche, depends on the category they're in. Like if you show me a pet blog that has 100 articles on it and like a great domain, like, DR50, whatever, strong backlink profile.
Yeah.
I could probably put the content strategy together that's 50 pieces long, 100 pieces long, and it's totally justified in its approach. And I think it depends on like what the business that's buying it wants to do, right? If you're
how
trying to like,
fast they want to grow.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like if you're trying to grow slow, and you could definitely get away with like 10 pieces a month or something, right? If you want to grow fast, like I'm like, I guarantee you unless, yeah, I mean, I guarantee you, regardless of category you're in, there's probably a content strategy, a content roadmap that you can put together that would be like 500 pieces long, right? Which would reflect a totally different business strategy. So like,
Yeah.
I think depending on the business goals, like, hey, we want to cash flow this, we want to have some distributions for the owners of whoever buys it.
Yeah.
Then yeah, you go more conservative, and that's totally fine. And I think you'll be totally fine in doing that. But if you want to go super aggressive, you can take that path too. It really does depend on what the business objectives are, for sure.